Alrighty y'all, this is World Class Jerk, and today we are indeed going to be covering how to make the soil centrifuge overpowered in Astroneer, and that's definitely going to be a good time. But also, here you can see we are on a mountainous flat spot that I created. What a glorious thing, and oh yes, as you can see over there a little bit to the left, this is indeed where we're going to be doing our tutorial today, but don't you worry about that just yet, because it is indeed still intro time. Well, I guess not anymore. Basically done with the intro, so we're going to get straight into this. But before we do, you should join my Discord. Link in the description. To become a jerk today, you should hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tap that notification bell, and leave comments and suggestions. But without further ado, we're actually going to get into it this time. Or so you thought, because you're not going to get off that easy, my children, because before we get into this, it is story time. Back in my day, the soil centrifuge was called the mineral extractor, and it was overpowered. We love this thing because it was overpowered. You could get any raw resource with just soil, and it did not stop at ammonium. You could keep going, you could get lithium, you could get copper, you could get aluminum, you could get all the expensive stuff with just soil until they changed it and called it the soil centrifuge, and now you can only put 2 soil canisters into it instead of 8. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and go over it all on this beautiful Venn diagram you're seeing before you. On the left, we have the soil centrifuge, and on the right, we have the mineral extractor. They look the exact same, so whoops. But yes, on the left is the soil centrifuge, and on the right is the mineral extractor. The left is the newer one, the right is the old one that used to be overpowered, so keep that in mind. But yes, on the left here, we have for the soil centrifuge, it only holds 2 soil canisters, and you can only craft up to, you can only craft compound, resin, organic, clay, quartz, graphite, and ammonium. And then the crafting recipe is that you have to have 2 compound and an aluminum to create a soil centrifuge. But for the mineral extractor here on the right, we have that it holds 8 canisters of soil, and you can create all raw resources. And then the crafting recipe is 2 compounds, so to top it all off, you don't even have to put an aluminum into it. It's just a cheap piece of crap. And so yeah, that's basically the conclusion here. The mineral extractor was an absolute beast, but why am I bringing that up? World Class Jerk, what is the relevance here? Well, the relevance is, even though the mineral extractor was overpowered, what would you do if I told you that you can make your soil centrifuge even more overpowered than the mineral extractor? Now I know what you're thinking, World Class Jerk. This elaborate system here just isn't worth it. It's going to cost me so many bytes, it's going to drain all of my power. How could this possibly be better than the mineral extractor when I have to go through all this effort to get this thing set up, and then it always draws my power? Well, that's because you want to continuously store your soil in scrap form so that the hassle goes away once you're done with the soil. What do I mean by that? Well, the system right here obviously is meant to do so. As you can see here, once we enable this, it begins crafting automatically resin for us. This resin goes into this small printer, which automatically crafts small canisters. These small canisters get picked up by this auto arm, shoved into this large shredder, and you don't want to go smaller than a large shredder, by the way, or it won't be able to keep up. Keep that in mind. But yes, it goes into this large shredder, and then once it becomes scrap in the end here, gets picked up by this auto arm and goes into our storage. So we basically storing our soil in the form of scrap so that we can both use it faster and more effectively. And this is why it's better, because with the OG mineral extractor, we could get a lithium for what's equivalent to 8 soil canisters. But here, each scrap is the same as 1 soil, because that's how this happens to translate, which is really convenient. So each soil from in the system, if you put a soil canister full of soil in this system, becomes a single scrap in the end. So whereas the mineral extractor allowed us to get a lithium for 8 scrap, or for 8 soil, gosh, I'm making it confusing. Okay, look, the mineral extractor let us get a lithium for 8 soil, but through this system, the soil centrifuge gets us a lithium for just 4 soil, but it's going to be in the form of scrap, so it's going to be 4 scrap. So as you can see, most things here are cheaper than with the mineral extractor, and by most things, I mean everything except for stuff like compound. Just don't get the cheaper resources like compound. They suck here. In fact, you know what? I'll be right back. I'll tell you what to use in the soil centrifuge instead of the trade platform, so you can be an absolute soil economy genius. Okay guys, I am indeed back, and so everything from the soil centrifuge that you want to get with scrap instead, by turning your soil into scrap, is quartz, graphite, and ammonium. So just those 3. Everything else is cheaper in just doing your soil instead of turning it into scrap first. But the reason this is still good, obviously, is because there's things in the trade platform that aren't in the soil centrifuge, and so we can get things like malachite, laterite, wolframite, hematite. Literally all raw resources are available in the trade platform, whereas not all of them are available in the soil centrifuge. So the trade platform is an expansion of it, and also, as just now said, those 3 resources are cheaper in scrap form anyways, so even some stuff for the soil centrifuge is better in the form of trade platform and scrap. And so guys, that's there's not much left to say. I know that this is like an abrupt ending here. Probably didn't see that one coming, but we do twists here on the World Class Jerk channel. We're all, I don't know. Anyways, look, there's one last thing I will say though, and this is like not relevant at all, but it might help you out. If you do not want to automate turning your soil into scrap, if you don't want it to be an automatic process, then instead of doing resin into canisters, you'll actually get 50% more scrap per each soil canister if you do Drill Mod 1 instead. Turn your ceramic into a Drill Mod 1, and then you will get 1.5 scrap per soil canister full of soil instead of just 1. But the reason I didn't do that here is because you cannot make those in the small printer, so it can't be automated. And I wanted this system to be automated, so we're getting 1 scrap per soil canister full of soil instead of 1.5. So that is a bit of a loss, but it's worth it to be automated in my opinion. But you do what you want with this information. That is what we're here about. We believe in diversity here on the World Class Jerk channel, but honestly, I'm just going to slide straight on into an intro now. Usually I do like a fancy cut and then I like point and stuff after, but no, we're just going to, yeah, that's going to do it for this one. You know, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, comments and suggestions. Join my Discord, link in the description. Become a jerk today. And, so yeah, that's it. Have a nice day.